Quickly before we start the actual voiceover here, I just want to tell you that this is an assignment for my English class, and even though it really is an assignment, it's also a true story. So I'm sorry if I have a couple of voice cracks around the way, because it's kind of a painful memory and something I'm still working on. And I know I'm just a teenager, and a bunch of you people out there will probably go, "Oh, you don't really know what you're talking about. You're so young." But trust me, as a teenager, it really is as bad as it sounds. So just take what I say with a grain of salt, and that's that. Depression is a monster that hides in your psyche, waiting for you to sink into the waters of your mind so it can drag you deeper. It's like a rope binding your limbs as you drown, the rocks in your pockets weighing you down, the darkness and the shadows morphing to your fear. The beast haunts my mind, an animal stalking its prey until it's at its weakest. I've never told anyone this, not in such a true form, but it is truly no secret, no matter how hard I've tried to hide it. Everyone in this room has seen that monster begin to take hold. The times you've watched me stare awkwardly into the distance, lost in thought. The days I was silent, the days my voice had shuddered beneath its own weight and tried to falter. Even the days I've sat silently in my seat, hiding my face in my arms as hot tears rolled down my cheeks. I'd felt you watch me, but my demons speak. Quiet whispers into my ears. They don't really care, they say. Why would they? What have you ever done to make them care? What have you really done at all? Nothing. You're nothing. Many of them tell me I'm worthless. And who am I to object myself? I don't have much of a reason to disagree, so the words of these monsters worm their way into my mind and change what I see. Everything gets darker, everything grays. The colors aren't so bright anymore. My eyes start to dampen and fall shallow, losing emotion. Eventually, those feelings fester and change into something much, much worse. It was less than a year ago when I first scarred myself. In looking now, those white lines are still visible, adorning my wrists with painful memories. I would look in the mirror, but I wasn't there. All I could see was the monster I told myself I was. In a matter of weeks, I began to feel that I wasn't worth the air I breathed. All I did was hurt people. All I was a failure. I cried myself to sleep for months. The only reason I kept going was my best friend. He was in the same situation, and he needed me. I couldn't leave him alone. I could barely forgive myself for trying, so rather than choosing one way or another, I gambled. The rule of thumb for self-harmers is simple. If the scars flow up the river, they truly want to die. If they bridge across, they're just after attention. That's completely wrong. My scars went in whatever way they went. There was the chance I might hit an artery or a vein, but it was unlikely. I gambled with my life, afraid of every possible outcome, and stuck in the middle. Then, something happened. I started seeing something in myself. Coping mechanisms started to work again, and I started to share how I was feeling with those I cared about. I taught myself that it was okay to say no. Suddenly, I wasn't expressing myself through broken mumbles and subtle messages. I was speaking with a clear voice. Suddenly, I could breathe again. My eyes were brighter, the world regained its color. I almost felt okay. The world wasn't falling apart around me, and I found some hope. To this day, monsters still hide in my head, waiting for me to falter, stalking me. The shadows still flicker across the walls, and I still live with my demons. But that's just it. I live with them rather than running away from them. I fight rather than hiding, and I stand here to tell you that demons are real. They're real and they're scary and they hurt, but they're not invincible, and you can't defeat them.